Hi guys, it's Tony and I am the Bored Housewife and I'm being very extra today. As you can see, I have my veil from my actual wedding and my bouquet. Today, as promised, we are starting a week-long back-to-back videos slash story times regarding my wedding. So the first story that we have today, you guys, is about the foolishness that was the photographer. And before I get into what happened with the photographer, I just want to say that I'm not going to name who she is. If you guys know me personally, you know who she is, and I would ask that you do not comment her name in the comment section, or else I will have to disable the comment section. I am not trying to get sued, even though all of this is correct, and if I labeled the title as I want to, you will be seeing receipts. But I will black out her name and number, and hopefully one day she'll get what's coming to her, but it won't be because of me. This is me just putting it out there because I feel like, one, I need to get it off my chest because I've been upset about it for, how many months has it been? Like 8-9 months, and I don't think I'm quite over it. Every once in a while, like, I'll look at pictures from that day and I'll still be a little bit upset about it. So let's just jump right into it. So as you guys know, I got married last September, and so it's not quite a year that we've been married yet, but it's been great. So many things went wrong during the wedding and the wedding preparation that I will be doing a whole video of everything that went wrong, and I will be doing a video about everything that went right. That video will be shorter than the first one. But as far as the photographer, I chose to hire a new photographer, a less established photographer, I'll say it like that, just because we went to school together. And since we went to school together and she was starting up her photography business, I thought it was a great way to not only support a Black-owned business, but support a classmate of mine. And so I thought, that would be good. This was by no means free, but she did do our engagement photos. And since she did our engagement photos, I thought, why not have the same photographer do the wedding? And that's probably when I should have just knew how it would be. Let's start with the engagement photos. The engagement photos came out very nicely, but there were a substantial less than we expected, which is like, let's say if a normal photographer would shoot hundreds, let's pick a number, 400 shots, and out of those 400 shots you have maybe 100 great shots, and then you choose maybe 25 to put out into the world. That's kind of what we expected, and what we got was more like 200 and some change of photos, which essentially limited the ones that we could use. So out of those 200 and so photos, we had maybe 70, no, I think that's a little bit more, somewhere between 50 and 75 photos that we could work with. So that only gave us about 15 photos really that we felt really great about, that we ended up putting into a book. So going from there, we thought, okay, one, she's a new photographer, and it's gonna be almost a year between the engagement photos and then the wedding. So because of this, we thought, she'll have more experience by then. And of course, when you're doing a full day's worth of photography from like noon or 2 o'clock to 10 p.m., of course you're gonna have a whole bunch of photos. So if she only had 200 and something for an hour session for the engagement photos, then we could assume that there's gonna be thousands of photos to pick from. Also, the time frame that it took her to process those photos and get it back to us wasn't the best, but she stayed in constant communication at that time, and we were like, okay, it'll be fine, everything will be fine, I have nothing to worry about. So let's fast forward to the wedding, or right before the wedding. So we hashed everything out, like what times she will be there, what time she's going to get there. My wedding started at 4 p.m. And so since it started at 4 p.m., I wanted her to be able to get ready with us. So as far as taking pictures of me getting ready, you know, mother of the bride type stuff. So we decided she was going to be there from 2 p.m. to the end of the party, which would have been 10 p.m. So that was the plan. She arrived and I saw her taking pictures. She took a lot of pictures of us getting ready. She took pictures all throughout the ceremony. And she took pictures, to my knowledge, during the reception. So the problem comes in, I would say, afterwards, because she was nice, she was personable, she was helpful during the wedding day, and I didn't have any complaints. The normal turnaround for photographers, since I've done a little bit of research since then, is normally 6 to 8 weeks from a professional photographer. And I understand that people have lives, and if this is not her first job, or it's her hobby business, I should say, that maybe it would take her longer. So my wedding was at the end of September. A couple weeks later, I just wanted to ask her if she put out some pictures from the wedding on her business page. She didn't ask us if that was okay, but that's fine. She put those pictures up there, and so I got all those pictures off of Facebook. And so that was great. I knew that she was processing them, and that so far so good, you know, that there were some good shots in there. And then I contacted her, and this is maybe 3 weeks later, 2 or 3 weeks later. I'm just contacting her just to say, hey, can you put it on a flash drive instead of a CD, because she put the 200 or so pictures on a CD after processing them for the engagement. And since there's going to be so many more pictures, you know, I just thought this would be a better way. And if I have all the text messages and emails and stuff like that, I will screenshot them and put them over here or over here, so you guys can see that everything I'm saying is truthful. And she said, I'm almost done with processing your pictures. I will put them on a flash drive when it's time to send them out. Everything is going beautifully. I definitely got some great shots. But since there's so many, there were thousands of pictures, that's what's taking me a bit of time. I'm like, no worries, you know, if it's already 2 to 3 weeks in and you're almost done, or at least over halfway done of thousands of pictures, then I'm assuming that at least by the end of October, maybe beginning of November, I'll start to see some of those pictures. So every couple weeks, maybe 2 to 3 weeks, I would just check in. Towards the end of October, I was just like, hey, when should I expect the photos? During that time, we were actually moving from Illinois to Arizona. So since we were moving from Illinois to Arizona, that was a hectic time for me. We had went on our honeymoon, came back, packed up within a couple weeks, and then relocated our whole lives to Arizona. So once we got settled a bit, I just contacted her and was like, hey, you know, when should I expect them? No answer. I Facebooked her and was just like, hey, you know, I haven't heard back from you. Just want to check in type of thing. And I sent her my updated address. And still no word. But, you know, on Facebook, you can see when somebody can see your message. Even if they don't reply to it, you can still see that they saw it. So I could see that she saw it, and at this point I'm like, okay, so it probably better for me to Facebook message her instead of texting her on her personal phone, because at least then I know for a fact if she's seen it or not. So that's the way I would go about it. At that point, my husband kind of stepped in, because he was like, okay, this is getting a little ridiculous. It's been somewhere between 6 and 8 weeks. At 8 weeks, before 8 weeks, he contacted her via phone, and he left her a message just saying, hey, my wife has been trying to get in contact with you. You haven't updated us about what's going on. You know, mid-October, you said you were almost done. It's, you know, mid-November at this point, something like that, or end of November. And he's just saying, hey, you know, you need to give us an update. We're perfectly fine if you're still processing. There's no rush to get them to us, but please communicate with us, you know, as to what's going on with our photos, and even just send us the raw unedited photos, just so we have them. We can take a look at our options. So We still never got any reply to that. And at this point, I'm getting a little antsy. I just moved into a 4-bedroom home from a 2-bedroom apartment, and I want to decorate. I want to put up pictures from the wedding. I want to have that feeling, because other people in my life had recently gotten married and also gotten their photos, and no issues, just these beautiful photos. And so many other things went wrong during that day that was one thing that I was hoping wouldn't have a problem. We had paid good money for the services. We had agreed to everything ahead of time. I was nice. Everybody was nice to her. She was nice to us. Like, there was no reason. There was no animosity. There was no fighting. There was no nothing. So there was no reason. Sorry if I'm yelling. There was no reason. There was just no reason in my mind that there were going to be any issues. And when there were issues, I kept asking myself, did something happen? Like, was this our fault? Like, what led to this being in this situation? Because I had never been in this situation, and anybody who's planned a wedding themselves will know that there's so many details that goes into planning a wedding that all you want is at the day of for things to run smoothly. And things didn't run smoothly, and I will go into more detail in other videos this week about what happened in those other times. But honestly, it was just like a slap in the face. And some people are not going to agree with me, and I'm not by any means saying this is all Black owned businesses or everybody who's just starting out, or even younger business owners. I'm just saying that it kind of puts a stain on what other people are doing, because it's like, I should have went with a professional. I should have went with somebody who was more experienced. I should have went with a non-Black company, something like that. And it felt bad in one sense, because it was like, I just wanted to support somebody that I knew in their business, and it wasn't that it was going to be free or cheap. I paid good money, hundreds of dollars for these pictures, and I got very little. But let's get back on track. So my husband left that message. We never heard anything back. Around the end of October, beginning of November timeframe, once again, I'll put them somewhere up here, we contacted her, just letting her know that if we didn't hear anything back, since we hadn't heard anything at this point, that we were going to have to file a claim against her with our bank, because we had paid money for a service. And regardless, we're not friends, but I do know you from high school, and I can still, we're friends on Facebook and stuff like that. Like, I can see that you're still going on about your life, and that's all good and fine. But when you take money from a person, it becomes a business transaction. And since I paid you, I expect to receive my product in a timely manner. And so, since once again we didn't hear anything from her, we did contact our bank and just went about that whole process. They contacted her. I'm assuming there is nothing between us or the bank saying that they contacted her, but right after we contacted the bank, she's contacted us saying you'll have your pictures by December 1st or December 3rd, something like that. Like I said, I'll put the pictures of what was said up on the screen. And at that time, we received 667 or 666 photos out of several thousand. And when going through those photos, I saw, pictures of us getting ready, pictures of the guys getting ready, pictures of us during the ceremony, and then that's it. There were no pictures during the reception. As far as the beginning part of the reception, like when we walked in, first sat down, stuff like that, there are some pictures. But as far as after we ate, after people started getting on the dance floor, how we started to go around and thanking everybody for coming out, our last dance, our getaway, my husband brought up the car and she took pictures and stuff like that. Like, all of those memories are gone, and the only thing that I have is a separate service that I also purchased where people could take pictures during the wedding, and it automatically all syncs into an album that I have personally. And so with everybody taking pictures from their cell phone and everything, that is the only thing that I have that allows me to see what happened during the reception. And that really really bothers me because it's like, one, I'm a nice person, two, I don't like confrontation, three, I paid you, and four, you did a shitty job, and that's just what it is. And if you ever see this, I hope that you grow from this experience. My husband speculated that maybe she one of her SD cards got corrupted and she couldn't get those pictures, or she lost a roll of film, or whatever the case may be. But if you can't come and own up to your part as a business woman, somebody doing a job, for whatever reason, I don't really care. Even if you didn't like me, don't take my money, don't work with me, I don't care. But don't take my money, come play nicey nice, and then ignore me for 2 months, almost 3 months, and then give me something that is not up to par with what we should have got for the most important day of our life so far. So that was upsetting. I did reach out to her and thank her for the pictures that she did send me, and ask her when we were going to receive the rest of the photos, because there are several pictures. We got married in a manor. So for those of you who don't know what a manor is, it's kind of like a small castle. So there are beautiful pictures of the landscape, of the inside. There was a spiral staircase that the whole bridal, what do you call them? The group, the people, the wedding party all took pictures on, and all the pictures with my mother, like me and my mother, we didn't take a lot of pictures that day, but we definitely have some together. But we took a lot of pictures together on that stairwell, and I don't have any of those pictures, and that is a part of my day that is in my memory, but I don't have any evidence of it, and that's really sad. And another thing that went horribly wrong was that the pictures that she sent us were not the original photos. They were they kind of look like the process of a process, if you know what that means. So instead of having the original images that we could blow up, because with our engagement photos, we had it blown up into 3 huge panels that took up the whole width of our queen size bed, and had that one picture blown up into 3 panels. With these photos, we could not blow them up. As soon as they get blown up, they become distorted because they're not the original process, or I don't know how to explain it because I'm not a photographer, but I hope you guys are understanding. It wasn't the quality that it should have been. If it was the original coming straight from the SD card, you could blow it up to whatever size, it wouldn't have mattered. But because it was processed in a smaller quality, or whatever the case may be, and then sent to us, and since we never received the unedited before the processed ones, we don't have anything that we could do. I even sent off some of those pictures to be made into a book, and because those pictures cannot be blown up, which I didn't know at that time, as soon as they tried to blow them up, they became very distorted. So that just breaks my heart. It breaks my heart because not only did I spend so much on the wedding itself, and that, it's your wedding day. That stuff, sorry, I get upset when I think about it because that stuff means a lot to people, When I look back on it, or I show it to my children, grandchildren, and stuff like that, I won't be able to show them all these beautiful photos of their family and my family and everything that I would have wanted to show them. And it's all because this person didn't take their job seriously, made a mistake, or just didn't give a shit. And I'm sorry for saying shit so many times in this video, but that's who she is to me. A shitty individual who didn't do her job, and who shouldn't be able to continue to do things like this to people. And honestly, I don't know if she's done this to anybody else other than me, but my husband left her a pretty descriptive and negative review on her page. That's all we could do. We couldn't get our money back because she sent some pictures, and even though it was not up to the quality that it should have been, the quantity that it should have been, or anything like that, plus her shitty customer service, we could not get the money back because something was received. And we're not gonna lie and say, hey, we paid for this thing and we never received anything, just to get our money back. She was there, and she did take photos, and we did receive some photos, so she deserved to get paid in some manner. But I'm pretty sure that if we were still in Illinois and we could have taken her to court, we would have, because I can't redo that day. I can't get back those memories of me and my dad dancing, or my dad making goofy faces at the camera, or my husband's grandfather dropping it hot on the floor, on the dance floor. Nobody got that on camera. Like, we're never gonna get that back. That's just in our memories, and memories fade, and it hurts. That's just all I'm gonna say about it. But hopefully you guys never have to deal with anything like that. I want you to tell me right now, go down to the comment section and tell me if you guys have ever paid for a service and got horrible customer service or a horrible experience in general. Tell me if you guys have ever tried to help out a friend or somebody that you knew from high school and was left to regret all your decisions. I think that for sure I will never use somebody that I either know or does not have enough experience that I can prove. Experience that I could prove, I should say. Because, you know, she had pictures from weddings, she had pictures from other engagement photos, baby showers, this and that. So it wasn't like she didn't have any experience, and I'm not gonna. So all I'm saying is that I probably won't ever use anybody who doesn't have a proven track record. You know, whatever she decides to do in life is up to her, and whatever she decides. But I know in my heart that it really negatively affected my day, and I don't know if she will ever apologize or even explain to me what happened to make it go so wrong. But nevertheless, I'm sharing it with you guys, so please let me know if anybody has ever done you wrong that you either knew, were doing a favor for, or whatever the case. Leave it down in the comment section. I love to hear from you guys. Let me know that I'm not alone in all of this. Do people just take advantage of me? Like, I don't know. But I'm not feeling sorry for myself. I do have some pictures that I can use that I have put up on my walls. And, you know, she can never take the memories that I have in my mind. She can't take away the simple fact that I married the best man ever. So, you know, I won't give her any more time in my life. So good luck to you and all that you are doing, but I'm moving on with my life. So let me know, guys, what you think in the comment section. Check me out on Facebook. I'll leave the link in the description box. And as always, it's all about the journey. And thank you for tuning in. Check out my next video. Bye.